The words hung in the air like smoke from a welding torch. "We're restructuring operations," Steve Palmer from HR said, staring at some point above my hard hat. "Corporate believes fresh methodologies will optimize our production metrics." I sat there in my steel-toed boots, 25 years of calloused hands folded on the conference table. The hydraulic press in Building C chose that moment to cycle through its routine, the familiar thump echoing through the plant walls like a heartbeat I'd memorized years ago. And who exactly is taking over my operation? Bradley Walsh, Stanford MBA, Operational Excellence Specialist. He's been observing our processes for 4 weeks now. 4 weeks. This kid had been watching us for 4 weeks and somehow convinced corporate he could run a $50 million operation better than the guy who built it from 180 workers to 200, maintained a 99.7% safety record, and never missed a government contract deadline. I'm Gary Martinez, 53 years old. Spent 8 years in the Marines before I started here as a machine operator back in '99. Worked every position on this floor before they made me plant manager in 2015. My hands still remember the vibration of every piece of equipment in this place, the way the temperature gauge on line 3 runs hot when the humidity climbs above 60%. What's my new assignment? I kept my voice level, like calling in coordinates during a firefight. Steve slid a folder across the table. Senior Operations Advisor. You'll maintain your salary and benefits. Corporate values your institutional knowledge. Institutional knowledge. That's what they call 25 years of keeping this place running, knowing which supplier delivers quality steel and which one ships garbage, remembering that Maria Santos works every overtime shift to pay her kids' medical bills, understanding that our Italian machinery supplier Antonio Ricci does business on handshakes and respect, not contracts and ultimatums. The next morning, I watched Bradley Walsh settle into my office chair. Kid looked like he'd never seen a production floor before yesterday. Designer safety glasses still had the stickers on them, boots so new they squeaked against the polished concrete. My desk already cleared of my pictures, Danny in his engineering cap and gown, Rosa at our 25th anniversary dinner, the team photo from our record-breaking quarter last spring. They'd moved me to a corner office the size of a supply closet with a window facing the parking lot instead of the production floor. The nameplate on my old door already read Bradley Walsh, Operations Director, in fresh lettering. The morning production meeting started at 700 sharp, my meeting with my people. Bradley stood at the head of the table where I'd stood for 8 years, fumbling with a laptop and presentation slides that looked like they came straight from business school. "Good morning, team," he said, voice trying too hard to project authority. "I'm excited to implement some innovative efficiency protocols. I've been analyzing our throughput metrics and identified several optimization opportunities." I watched from the back corner as he clicked through slides full of buzzwords and flowcharts that meant nothing to people who actually made things for a living. Maria Santos caught my eye and shook her head slightly. She'd been my floor supervisor for 15 years, knew every worker by name and which machines ran hot on humid days. "Our current quality control processes are redundant," Bradley continued, laser pointer dancing across charts. "We can reduce inspection points by 40% and reallocate that labor to direct production." Carlos Mendez raised his hand. "What about the government contracts? Defense specifications require those inspection points." Bradley blinked like Carlos had spoken in a foreign language. "We can streamline the documentation process. Modern quality management systems eliminate manual checkpoints." The room got quiet. These people knew what government contracts meant: steady work, good pay, benefits for their families. You don't mess with defense specifications because some MBA thinks he found inefficiencies. I felt my phone buzz, text from Antonio Ricci, heard about changes. Meeting Thursday, usual diner. The meeting dragged on for another 20 minutes while Bradley explained theories he'd learned in business school to people who'd been making things work in the real world for decades. When he dismissed everyone, Maria lingered by the coffee machine. "Gary, this is crazy. That boy doesn't know a torque wrench from a tape measure." "He's in charge now, Maria. We adapt and support the mission." She studied my face like she was reading pressure gauges. "You're up to something." I kept my expression neutral, just doing my new job as advisor. "Right?" She didn't believe me for a second. "Well, when this ship starts taking on water, I hope you've got lifeboats ready. Before we continue, thank you for taking the time to read this story. If you're enjoying it so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to catch more stories like this one. Your support means everything, and your comments help me know what resonates with you. Now let's get back to how this industrial nightmare unfolded. That evening, I sat at my kitchen table with a cup of coffee and my old planning notebook open. Rosa found me there around 9, still in her scrubs from her shift at the Veterans Hospital. "They really did it," she said, settling into the chair across from me. "Kid's got an MBA from Stanford. Must know what he's doing," Rosa snorted. "You built that place, Gary. You know every bolt and bearing in those machines." "Apparently that's the problem. I'm too established, too set in old ways. You mean too expensive and too smart for some corporate puppet master who's never gotten his hands dirty. I smiled. Rosa had been dealing with hospital administrators trying to second-guess nurses for 30 years. She understood bureaucratic stupidity better than most people understood their own jobs. "So what's the plan?" she asked, nodding at my notebook where I'd started sketching organizational charts, working on it. "Good. Because you taught Danny never to let anyone take what's yours without a fight, and that applies to grown-ups too." Thursday morning came with the familiar rumble of the morning shift starting up. I arrived early, checking the production boards out of habit even though they weren't technically my responsibility anymore. Everything looked normal on the surface, but I could feel the tension in the air like ozone before a thunderstorm. By 8:30, my phone was lighting up with calls from the floor supervisors. Bradley had implemented his streamlined quality protocols without consulting anyone who actually understood our government contract requirements. "Gary, we got a problem." Maria's voice was tight over the radio. Defense inspector just red-tagged half of yesterday's output. Bradley eliminated the heat treatment verification step. I walked down to the floor, found Bradley in heated conversation with Carlos about production numbers, while our defense quality assurance inspector stood nearby with a clipboard full of violations. The inspector was a guy named Rodriguez who'd been coming here for 6 years, knew our operation inside and out. "Gary," Rodriguez nodded when he saw me. "Glad you're here. We've got some serious compliance issues." Bradley spotted me. "This is just a misunderstanding. The new protocols are statistically equivalent to the old processes." Rodriguez shook his head like he was dealing with a particularly slow child. "Son, I don't care about your statistics. These parts don't meet mil-spec requirements, and that's a $2.8 million order we can't ship." I watched Bradley's face go pale as the numbers hit him. Corporate headquarters was going to want answers, and he didn't have any. "Can this be resolved?" Bradley asked, looking desperately in my direction. I considered my options like I was planning a tactical maneuver. "The parts will need complete rework. That's 72 hours minimum, assuming we can get approval for overtime and the heat treatment furnaces are available." "Do it," Bradley said quickly. "Whatever it takes." "I'll need authorization for the overtime budget," I said, "and we'll have to bump the Johnson Industries order to next week." Bradley nodded frantically, signing off on decisions he didn't understand while Rodriguez documented every violation for his report. By lunch, word had spread through the plant like wildfire. The new director had cost them a week's production and put their biggest contract at risk. I spent the afternoon quietly coordinating with Maria and the shift supervisors to minimize the damage, just like old times. The difference was now I was documenting everything. Friday brought another crisis. Antonio Ricci called me directly instead of going through Bradley, his accent thick with frustration. "Gary, what's happening over there?" This Walsh person sent me an email demanding 15% price reduction and threatening to find new suppliers. I met Antonio at our usual diner that evening. Same booth we'd used for planning meetings for the past 12 years. Red vinyl cracked in the same places. Coffee that could strip paint. He was agitated, gesturing with his coffee cup and speaking rapid Italian under his breath. 20 years we do business together. My equipment makes your operation possible. Now some kid sends ultimatums like I'm selling used cars. Antonio, I'm not in charge anymore. Bradley has authority over vendor relationships. This Bradley, he understands precision machinery. He knows why our tolerances matter for military specifications. I sipped my coffee, bitter as the situation. He's implementing modern supply chain management practices. Antonio leaned forward, lowering his voice. "Gary, listen to me. Your machines are custom calibrated for my specifications. The thread pitch on our hydraulic fittings, the metallurgy of our cutting tools, everything is matched to your processes. You change suppliers, you lose 6 months recalibrating and retraining workers. Is worth 15% discount to shut down production for half a year." After Antonio left, I sat in the diner for another hour, thinking the kid was making exactly the mistakes I'd expected. Pushing too hard, too fast without understanding the relationships that made everything work. Like trying to rebuild an engine without knowing which parts went together. Back at the plant Monday morning, I found Bradley in crisis mode. Production numbers were down 23% from the previous week. The government contract rework had created a backlog that was pushing other deadlines. 2 experienced machine operators had called in sick rather than deal with the chaos, and Luis Rodriguez, our best welder, was talking about updating his resume. "I need your help," Bradley admitted when he cornered me near the break room. His designer glasses were crooked, and his shirt looked like he'd slept in it. "These suppliers are being unreasonable, and the workers seem resistant to change. Change is always challenging," I said carefully. "Especially when people don't understand the reasoning behind it. You know these people, can you talk to them?" Explain that we need to modernize our processes to stay competitive. I nodded. I'll see what I can do. What I did was listen. Maria told me about Bradley's plan to eliminate the shift overlap that let experienced operators train new hires. Carlos explained how the new computerized scheduling system ignored machine maintenance requirements and had us running equipment beyond safe parameters. Luis Rodriguez mentioned that Bradley had suggested outsourcing their specialized welding work to save costs, not understanding that our welders held security clearances required for defense contracts. He doesn't understand, Maria said during our coffee break. This isn't some widget factory where you can swap out parts and processes. We make precision components for military helicopters and armored vehicles. One mistake doesn't just cost money, it kills people. I made careful notes in my planning notebook, documenting everything while maintaining my helpful, supportive demeanor. Each conversation revealed another crack in Bradley's foundation, another relationship strained by his theoretical approach to real-world problems. The following Monday brought the call I'd been expecting. Warren Pearson, our CEO, wanted an emergency meeting about the operational difficulties. His assistant's voice was tight when she scheduled it, which told me Warren was already looking for someone to blame. The conference room was tense when I walked in. Bradley sat hunched over production reports that looked like casualty lists. Warren's face had that particular shade of red that meant someone was about to get fired, and Patricia Hoffman from the board sat stone-faced at the far end of the table. "Gary, thank God," Warren said when I entered. "We need damage control. The Defense Department is threatening to audit our entire operation. What's the situation?" I asked, taking a seat. Bradley cleared his throat like he was trying to dislodge something stuck. "Some vendors are being difficult about new contract terms, and there's been resistance to process improvements." Warren turned to me with the desperation of a man watching his retirement fund evaporate. "Can you salvage the Antonio Ricci relationship? We can't afford to lose our machinery supplier. I can reach out," I said. "Antonio and I have a good working relationship. Do it today, and see what you can do about this defense contract mess." I called Antonio from my office an hour later. "The CEO wants to discuss terms personally. Can you meet with us tomorrow?" "Only if you're in the meeting, Gary." This Walsh character, he doesn't understand our business. Last email he sent, he's asking for Chinese replacement parts for Italian machinery. Is like asking for Toyota parts in Ferrari engine. The next day's meeting went exactly as I'd predicted. Antonio laid out the technical requirements, the training timeline, the calibration process that kept our machines running at 99.7% efficiency. Bradley kept interrupting with cost-cutting suggestions that showed he didn't understand basic manufacturing principles. "You want shorter lead times?" Antonio said, his patience wearing thin. "I can ship parts faster if you want them to fail during operation. You want cheaper materials. I use soft steel that wears out in 6 months instead of hardened alloys that last 5 years. You want to save money? Stop breaking things that work." Warren apologized profusely and agreed to honor the existing supplier agreements. After Antonio left, Warren turned to Bradley with the expression of a man who just realized he'd hired an arsonist to run the fire department. "What the hell happened here?" Bradley started explaining market dynamics and competitive bidding processes, pulling up spreadsheets that meant nothing in the real world. Warren cut him off with a gesture. "Gary, can you fix this mess?" I looked thoughtful, like I was calculating complex engineering problems. "It'll take some time to rebuild relationships. The teams are pretty shaken up. Do whatever you need to do. I'm putting you back in operational control until we stabilize." For the next 3 weeks, I moved carefully through the plant, having quiet conversations with supervisors, coordinating with suppliers, gradually stabilizing operations. Bradley was effectively sidelined, relegated to generating reports that nobody read while I handled the actual work of running the plant. But I wasn't planning to save Bradley's job. I was planning something much bigger. While everyone focused on putting out fires, I was quietly documenting every problem, every safety concern, every contract violation that had emerged under Bradley's modern management. More importantly, I was having private conversations with key people. "Gary, this can't continue," Maria said one morning after Bradley had tried to eliminate safety briefings to save time. "Someone's going to get hurt." "I know. I'm working on a solution." "What kind of solution?" I showed her a business plan I'd been developing in my spare time, independent consulting. "Manufacturing operations advisory." Her eyes widened as she read through my notes. "You're leaving, I'm creating alternatives." Within a week, I had commitments from 8 of my best supervisors and 3 key suppliers. Brian O'Connor from the union confirmed that the workers would follow competent leadership to better opportunities, especially after the safety violations they'd witnessed under Bradley's management. Luis Rodriguez was the first to officially commit. "Gary, you taught me precision welding on government specs. This place won't be the same without proper leadership." Carlos Mendez was next. My numbers don't lie. Production efficiency, safety metrics, worker satisfaction, everything's gone downhill since they brought in that MBA. Even Tommy Rodriguez, one of our younger operators, approached me. My dad worked manufacturing his whole life. He always said experience beats education when lives are on the line. 2 months after Bradley took over, I walked into Warren's office and placed my resignation letter on his desk. "You can't quit now," Warren said, panic creeping into his voice. "We need you to train Bradley, get him up to speed. Bradley has an MBA from Stanford. He'll figure it out. Gary, be reasonable. We can adjust his role, give you more authority. Hell, we can make you operations vice president." I smiled the same way I used to smile when explaining to new Marines why their textbook tactics wouldn't work in real combat. "Warren, my resignation is effective in 2 weeks. I'm starting my own consulting firm." His face went red again. "You can't take our clients. Your contract has non-compete clauses. These aren't your clients, Warren. They're relationships I built over 25 years based on competence and trust. And they're coming with me because they value results over credentials." Warren leaned back in his chair like I'd just told him his factory was on fire. "This is about money, isn't it? What do you want?" "This isn't about money. This is about understanding that real leadership isn't something you learn in a classroom. It's something you earn on the floor, shift by shift, problem by problem, crisis by crisis. Name your price, Gary." "Anything." I stood up, straightening my work shirt. "Warren, you had 25 years to appreciate what you had. You chose to replace it with a PowerPoint presentation and a Stanford diploma. That decision tells me everything I need to know about this company's values." I walked out of that office for the last time, past my old desk where Bradley was frantically trying to understand a production schedule that made perfect sense to anyone who'd actually worked the floor, past the machines I'd maintained and improved for over 2 decades, past the workers who'd built something worth being proud of. The following Monday, I didn't go to the plant. Instead, I met with Antonio Ricci at a different diner across town, one with better coffee and a view of the river where my new office would be. "Gary, you did it," Antonio said, raising his espresso cup. "When do we start the new partnership?" "First client meeting is next Tuesday. Wade Fletcher from Fletcher Steel wants to discuss a long-term supply agreement." Antonio grinned. "Wade Fletcher? That man knows quality when he sees it. How many others? Maria's coming on as operations manager next Monday. Luis Rodriguez is bringing his welding certification and security clearance. Carlos Mendez will handle our financial controls." I counted off on my fingers. "Brian O'Connor's coordinating with the union to recommend our services to other plants facing similar problems," and the young Walsh. Last I heard, Warren put him on administrative leave pending a review of the defense contract violations. 3 weeks into launching Martinez Manufacturing Consultancy, I was working 14-hour days and loving every minute of it. The office was a renovated warehouse space overlooking the river, with enough room for our team and the specialized equipment we'd need for precision consulting work. My phone rang. Danny calling from college. "Dad, I heard about what happened." Mom filled me in. "Just a career change, son. Nothing dramatic." "Dad, you built that place from nothing. They had no right to push you out. Sometimes being right isn't enough, Danny. Sometimes you have to prove you're right. So you're proving it." I looked around the office where Maria was training 2 new quality inspectors and Luis was setting up our sample welding station. Every day. 4 months later, Martinez Manufacturing Consultancy had 12 employees and contracts with 6 different manufacturers. We specialized in what corporate consultants couldn't understand: the relationship between technical expertise, worker loyalty, and sustainable production. My phone buzzed. Text from Warren Pearson. "Gary, we need to talk. Can you meet today?" I called him back. "What's the situation, Warren?" "Everything's falling apart. Bradley's gone, fired last month after another safety incident. Defense contract canceled permanently. Antonio pulled all his equipment after a hydraulic failure injured 2 workers. OSHA's breathing down our necks." I leaned back in my chair, watching a barge navigate the river below. "That's unfortunate. Gary, I'll be straight with you. We're looking at layoffs if we can't turn this around. 200 families depend on that plant. That got my attention. Whatever my feelings about corporate stupidity, those workers hadn't made the decision to hire Bradley. "What are you asking? Come back. Whatever title you want, whatever salary, full operational control. Help us rebuild what we lost." I was quiet for a long moment. "Warren, I appreciate you calling, but my company only works with organizations that demonstrate they value experience and competence from the beginning." "Name your price." "This isn't about price, it's about trust. You had 25 years to understand what made that operation work, and you chose to replace it with theories and spreadsheets." "Gary, please. These are good people who just want to work. You're right, they are good people, which is why I'm going to make you a different offer." I outlined a proposal I'd been developing with my team. Martinez Manufacturing Consultancy would provide interim operational consulting to stabilize the plant, train new supervisors, and rebuild supplier relationships. But we wouldn't be employees, we'd be independent contractors with defined objectives and performance metrics. The consultation runs 6 months, I explained. If we meet productivity and safety targets, your workers keep their jobs. If we don't, you'll have documentation showing you made every effort to save the operation. And after 6 months, you hire permanent management that understands manufacturing. We recommend candidates with floor experience, not just degrees. Warren agreed immediately. Sometimes desperation clarifies priorities better than all the MBA programs in the world. 6 months later, the plant was running at 103% of its historical efficiency. Safety incidents were down to 0. We'd landed 3 new government contracts and restored relationships with 5 suppliers. Most importantly, we'd trained a new generation of supervisors who understood that leadership meant serving the people who did the actual work. I hired Tony Rodriguez, Luis's son, as the new plant manager. He'd worked his way up from machine operator, just like I had. The difference was, now he had backing from people who understood what real competence looked like. On my last day at the plant, Maria found me checking the production boards one final time. "You know, this was never about revenge," she said. "No, it was about building something that lasts. The consulting business, the example showing that experience and relationships matter more than credentials and theories." That evening, Rosa and I sat on our back deck watching the sunset over the city where I'd spent 25 years learning my trade. "Any regrets?" she asked, "about leaving?" "Not one. About going back to help. I thought about that. Those workers deserved better than corporate politics. Sometimes doing the right thing means putting principles before personal satisfaction." My phone buzzed with a text from Danny. "Dad, got accepted to the engineering management program. Want to learn the family business properly." I showed Rosa the message. She smiled. "Looks like Martinez Manufacturing has a succession plan." 2 years later, our consultancy has 25 employees and contracts across 3 states. We've saved 4 manufacturing operations from closure and trained over 100 new supervisors. Most importantly, we've proven that competence, integrity, and respect for working people aren't old-fashioned values, they're competitive advantages. The best revenge isn't destroying what hurt you, it's building something better that makes their mistakes irrelevant. If you've stayed with me to the end of this story, thanks for listening. Sometimes winning isn't about getting your old job back. It's about creating new opportunities that honor what you've learned and who you've become. Real leadership isn't about titles or credentials. It's about serving the people who trust you to make the right decisions when it matters. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever had to choose between fighting for what was and building what could be? Your experience matters, and there are people who need to hear that competence and character still count for something in this world.